Hi everybody, so welcome along to the channel. My name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics lecturer, so I teach, research and work at a UK university. I'm quite excited about this video. It's my first ever YouTube Q&A. So I've got some questions that you guys have been putting in the comments, which is great, and I'm going to do my very best to answer them. So just throwing it out there, I am a UK-based physics lecturer. I guess that might influence the answers that I'm about to give. But anyway, let's jump in with it, and I'll start with the questions. So question number one was, how much do we get paid? Which is a great question. So how much does the lecturer typically get paid? And actually, I'll go back a little bit. So the question wanted to know how much you can expect to get paid after you finish your PhD, and then how much you can expect when you go into a lectureship position. So typically, after finishing your PhD, if you're thinking about becoming a lecturer, you'll go off and you'll do a postdoctoral research position. I've got another video which I'll link up, which it kind of explains this kind of process. But a postdoc starting salary, so here in the UK, for a science postdoc, you're looking somewhere between 30,000 and 42,000, and that's British pounds. And obviously that range will depend on your experience, whether it's your first or your second postdoc, the actual topic that you're working on, where the funding for that particular postdoc has come from. Are you working in London? Because there might be a little allowance extra for being in London. And then when you become a lecturer, your starting salary is going to be probably around the low 40s, and obviously it can go all the way up. And when you're a professor, you'll be looking at around 70,000 onwards and upwards. And actually the lecture scheme here in the UK, it's based on a spine point scheme, so you can look it up and you can see what the entry level lecturer will get, or the range that they would get. And then as you progress through and you pick up more aspects in your job, so more teaching, research, admin type roles, obviously that salary is going to go up. So the next question, and it kind of follows on, is it better to do a research leaning lectureship or a teaching leaning lectureship? And from my experience, my position, my lectureship is actually split very much three ways. So teaching, research and an administrative duty. So as I said, I'm the admissions tutor. So I split my role three ways. So therefore I have to do a mix of teaching, a mix of research and my admin duties. Now at my university, you can come in as a teaching fellow or as a research fellow. And they're slightly different career routes. So if you're a teaching fellow, you are more biased towards delivering teaching as the main part of your job. And you may do a small amount of research and then a small amount of admin duties. And if you're coming in as a research fellow, it's the opposite. You're doing more research in your job, maybe a tiny bit of teaching and a small amount of admin duties. I think if you're going down the lecturer route, in order to get promoted, you need to be showing good research output, so good publications, and also good teaching output. So, your students need to give you good feedback, you need to be designing courses, your examinations need to be going well. Whilst if you're on the research stream, you're going to be more focused on papers and getting good journal articles, winning maybe grants all the time. And if you're on the teaching side, you'll be maybe doing curriculum design, module design, redesigning laboratory experiments. And then as a lecturer, you get a mix of both. So I don't think there's a best route at all. I would just be mindful of the fact that if you go down one route, depending on how long you're staying in that route for, it can make it slightly harder then to switch. So if you spent 10 to 15 years working as a researcher and you got up to being a high level researcher, so a senior or a kind of professorial level researcher, you wouldn't necessarily be able to switch across to become a professorial level on the teaching side because you haven't worked your way through up on that side. So yeah, there's no one answer there. Just be mindful of the fact that the choices you're making will possibly influence where you can go in the future. That follows on to the third question, and it was about, if I did study in one subject, could I be a lecturer in another subject? And the actual question was, if I studied, say, in education, could I become a lecturer in history? Now, my experience as a scientist is that when I was applying for the physics lectureship position, they needed me to have certain kind of knowledge in order to be able to contribute to the lectureship course and to be able to do my research. So I needed to have a physics background in order to apply for the physics lectureship that I've got. And I needed to have specific research interests to match what the university were looking for at that point in time. Now, that's not to say I couldn't necessarily have looked in other departments. I could have looked at more of an engineering place. I could have looked at more of a materials department to work in. And if my physics background and my skills matched what the university were needing, they might have been able to consider me for those posts. But I did need to have the physics qualifications in order to be able to teach on the lecture course so I could teach other students physics. I don't know how it works so much in the kind of the social sciences and the humanities side. I suspect it's fairly similar. If a university wants you to lecture in a certain position, they're looking for you to have subject knowledge of that particular area. So it's definitely not to say that you couldn't look to broaden or slightly change pathways, but I think you do need to demonstrate some specific subject knowledge depending on what the job is actually asking in the job requirements. But for me, at any rate, I had to have very specific physics subject knowledge in order to go my physics lectureship. So I think it's more about the knowledge that you have and whether that matches the job that you're applying for, if that makes sense. Okay, final question for this set is a Russell Group university better or worse than a non-Russell Group university? So I should explain what a Russell Group university is. So the Russell Group was formed in 1994. Let me check. Yes, it was formed in 1994 between 18 universities. Subsequently, a few more have joined. I think it's now 24 universities. I will put a link in now, so you can go click on their website if you want to. Basically, it was a group of universities that got together and decided that they wanted to work a bit as a team to make optimum conditions for students. And in order to do that, they were going to lobby the UK government and Parliament, and they were going to contribute towards policy. And I think if you look at their website, they have interests across research, across teaching, making sure there's inclusivity. And they pick up on these issues and they conduct surveys, they do kind of working groups, they have exercises, I guess, and then they liaise with the UK government to share their findings. And the Russell Groups, I think they say that they have a quarter of the undergraduates or something at their universities. Because there's obviously 24 universities in this group, they are going to be educating quite a number of the students here in the UK. They will be winning money, but there's an awful lot of universities that are not in the Russell Group, and they are still excellent universities offering excellent degree courses. So from my personal experience, I did my undergraduate and my PhD studies actually at a Russell Group university. I don't think as a student, when I made that choice, I was really aware that they were a Russell Group university. I just thought they were a good university, they had the course I wanted to do, I liked the campus, I liked the lecturers, and it just felt like home when I walked around. So I don't think as a student making my choice, I was particularly drawn to the fact that they were Russell Group. I just liked the department and thought they were well regarded and a well-ranked department. Actually, now I am a lecturer at a non-Russell Group university. So now I teach and work at a non-Russell Group university. And I have to say they're quite similar in atmosphere. They're both campus-based universities. In my opinion, they've both got excellent physics degree courses, really good facilities, really good students. I wouldn't, as an academic myself, necessarily notice a big difference. I'm not sure whether the students on my course would notice massively a big difference. So yeah, from personal experience, having been taught at a Russell Group and now teaching at a non-Russell Group university, I think the more important thing is to choose the university that's right for you. And that means looking at the course, looking at the atmosphere, looking at the location, the living environment, looking at any extras, so the opportunity maybe to do study abroad or to have a placement in your programme. Does that university have particularly good links with a commercial partner or a business partner or another university? And does that university just feel like the right match for you? I would look at those things and I would pick your university based on the fact that it's got the department that you want to go to, the course that you want to do, and the place that you want to study. And if it's a Russell Group or a non-Russell Group, yeah, in my case, it really didn't make much difference that I noticed at all. I just wanted to study at a good university, and now I wanted to be a lecturer at a good university. But yeah, I didn't notice much difference between the two. I'm sure other people in the comments section will now say, oh no, go to a Russell group or don't go to a Russell group, and they might have very strong opinions on it. I guess it's just something that, yeah, I was aware of, but didn't really impact my choices, I guess. And that's it. That's the questions for this week. So hopefully I've addressed a few of the issues that were popping up in the comments. I will try to do another one of these videos next month. So I think next week I've got my August favourites coming up. So I'll try each month to do a favourites video because I think they're fun and I like recording those. And also to do a Q&A. So I'll try to round up any comments or questions and try to group a few of them together into one of these videos, which I hope has been useful, or, you know, just hearing me ramble on has been a little bit helpful. If the video was good or helpful, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. As I said, I post every Monday and Thursday. Semester will be starting up soon, so expect more university content coming out. Hope you have a really good start of the week or weekend. This video is going out on Thursday, so I hope you have a really good weekend. Look after yourself, stay safe with everything that's still going on in the world at the moment, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.